message that you hope that they take away from it?
I think that you are so much, and not to minimize it anyway, but you are so much more than just a survivor or just a victim. While that is a huge thing, you are a person of multitudes, and what someone has done to you doesn't define you. You define you, and what you have in you, and what you're capable of, and what you have done and are doing and will do is so much bigger than anything anyone else can do to you.
Blake. Is anyone else seeing all the press that Blake is doing for this movie and just recognizing how completely out of touch it is? And as a therapist who specializes in trauma, the reason this response is just so troublesome is it just completely misses the mark on understanding what trauma does to the mind, body, and soul. Anyone who has experienced domestic violence or works with individuals who have or knows someone has knows it is not just something that you can choose to not be defined by. Well, we love that in theory, right? That we can just turn it off and be fine. That's not how trauma works. And of course, if this is part of your story and you resonate with this too, of course there is more life and beauty and truth and deepness in who you are. But I think that Blake is not choosing to combine them. She's choosing to separate them, saying domestic violence happened. Okay, let's push it aside because you're all these beautiful things. When in reality, trauma work and trauma healing allows us to combine what has happened in the past with who you truly are in the present to give you this full rounded picture of healing and truth and who you are. And it's like she just missed the entire point of the book, and I haven't seen the movie yet, I'm about to. But even like, look how she reacts to him asking this question.
Survivors of generational trauma and domestic abuse are going to see this film. I'm curious, what is the
The shifting eyes, the with the tongue, it is all this body's way of saying, I'm annoyed and I'm kind of over this question and I'm really ready to get on with it. And then the rest of the press tour is about dresses and wardrobe and seeing it with florals with your friends.
The wardrobe was a really critical part of that storytelling, and I'm really proud of it. But I'm wearing like a ton of like Bodhi and vintage, and it's some of my favorite wardrobe I've ever worn.
And while I love the positivity and being able to promote light in life, oftentimes trauma survivors are told to just make light of their story. Just pretend everything's okay. Your story's too heavy. I don't want to hear that. And I feel like her actions are doing just that. Her actions are continuing to make victims and survivors of domestic abuse and trauma feel like their story is too heavy to even talk about. And if this is the messaging you've also received from this press tour and you have felt that way, please know you are not too much. Your story deserves a voice and you are not a burden for existing the way that you need to. What are your thoughts about this whole thing?